Well, right now I am so pleased to have two guests who are going to educate me on the Erie Canal. The only thing I really knew about the Erie Canal was I have a mule and her name is Sal. 50 miles on the Erie Canal, right?
That's
Eric Hamilton.
right.
Eric Hamilton. He is with the Mohawk Towpath Byways, and next to him is Lori Solomon. And she's got a long title. I mean, not her title, she's tourism, but it's the Erie Canalway National Heritage Corridor.
Yes.
I wanted to get all those words in.
Very well done.
Good,
Thank you.
yeah. You have a lot of stuff coming up. I know we're going to talk about you, about the tourism. Towpath, does that mean I walk or what? What's going on?
As you know, the
I love
Mohawk
your picture, by
Towpath.
the way.
Yeah, welcome to the Byway. The Byway is the road between Schenectady, Waterford, and Cohoes that tells the story of the waterway west, the Erie Canal, and our heritage, the westward expansion of the country, and the role that our communities played in that expansion, and in the I forgot my elevator speech. This is terrible.
Got his elevator.
The role our communities played in the westward expansion of the country and in the Industrial Revolution.
And maybe you can help me on this, but I thought that the Erie Canal it's famous. Everybody knows the Erie Canal. Even in China, they've heard of the
Certainly, yeah.
You know. It was only used for a short period of time, 12 years or something like that, or how long was it used?
No, it's been used, and it's.
Well, I mean, with the mules.
Oh, with the mules and the towpath.
I mean, it was used for a short time, really.
Yeah, it started in 1825.
That wasn't Seward's Folly. No.
It was expanded in 1842.
Okay.
And there were still mules, towpath, up to the early 1890s.
Okay.
Then tugboats started to
that's
come
what
in,
I thought.
And motorized barges.
And the canal, what a lot of people don't realize, it was not that deep.
No. In fact, the original canal was 4 feet.
4 feet deep?
4 feet deep.
Yeah, and only how many feet wide? Not very.
42, I think. What is
something
it?
like that. And the enlarged Erie Canal was 7 foot deep.
Yeah.
And
they just needed it deep enough to get the water, to get it moving.
That's right.
So how does the Erie Canal and tourism go together, Lori?
Well, that's I think it's really important to mention that the National Park Service Congress realized the value of this entire corridor, over 500 miles of canalway, canal system, including 2 of the Finger Lakes, and over 200 communities that touch its shores. They realized the value, and they designated it a National Heritage Area in 2000. So what we do is to preserve, promote, and protect this entire region. And my area is tourism, and there's just so many stories related to our history. I wasn't going to really mention this. I just suggest your viewers visit our website to see what we do in tourism. But since you talked about the Underground Railroad, I created a statewide map of the Underground Railroad and how it relates to the Erie Canal story. So the canal brought great progress, economic development, but people don't realize that it also fostered social movements. With economic development becomes progress of thought. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't just by coincidence that the Erie Canal really fostered and was active here. So that's what I have. So as it relates to tourism, I think today we really want to talk about.
We're going to look at some photos. Maybe we can look at some of those. Maybe
Eric, if you want to talk about, we're talking about adventure tourism and the value. But if you want
to, the Byway, as I mentioned, is between Schenectady, Cohoes, and Waterford, and we like to consider ourselves the eastern gateway of the Erie Canal National Heritage Corridor.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's the corridor.
So we're the first 26 miles of the corridor, and there's plenty to do. And my passion.
Looks like you can bike it too.
Yeah. Yeah, my passion is to get people out of their vehicles. For some people, adventure tourism is, you know, just taking a Sunday drive in a place where they haven't been, and we certainly can offer that. But I think to really discover our community, we need to get out of the car. And one of the things that we've done this year is to start a cellphone tour. And you'll see these. In fact, this is a copy of the one upstairs on Robb Alley. You can dial the number on the thing or scan the QR code. Are they called? I don't know. Anyway.
That technology is way over my head.
Right. Well, you can, with my flip phone, I can still dial
I'm still using the track phone. I mean, I don't know.
Right. So the whole idea is to get people out of the cars, and with this cell phone-based tour, you can have local people telling you the story of what they're looking at. For example, Supervisor, I knew I'd be in trouble. My mind is a blank here.
He's in front of a camera. Oh my God!
Clifton Park Town Supervisor will give you a story of the Erie Canal as it passed through Clifton Park, for example.
So you're getting a local view of that.
And you get Phil Barrett's voice describing and inviting people to come and see, you know, what's there as a historic resource.
Now these are really great for the local. Now, one of the things that you mentioned, Lori, is that you can run.
Well, yeah.
Run the entire.
Can cycle the entire, and every year there's an annual event called Cycle the Erie, and about 500 people from all over the nation and world and locals sign up, and they cycle from Buffalo to Albany, and it's almost it's a continuous bike path, almost complete, some off the road trails, but it's very accessible, and you have people ranging from 5 to 95.
And they can do a short stretch.
They can do a short stretch.
If they're
Yes.
of a mind to do the whole thing?
Yes, we have people hiking it, and it's really, and you pass through communities, historic communities, and you can experience the culture and heritage there, and the hospitality of amazing communities. But one thing is we're looking to do an ultra marathon from Albany.
Ultra marathon.
Yes, from Albany to Buffalo, and really get our communities engaged, and around the mindset sort of the Tour de France, where as the event goes through the communities will have events and festivals to embrace the arrival of the runners. So
waving
flags, bands, everything. And I've done numerous events planning along the corridor, and our communities are amazing, and they come out in droves just to see people just pass by, and it's really quite exciting.
How fun.
Yeah.
And I understand, and we mentioned before the show that there is an Erie Canal park. What is it where you have the mule? Tell me about that.
Oh, in Rome, New York.
New York. Okay, there we are.
Yeah.
There's a canal village.
Canal.
Okay.
And that's one of the features. Of course, it's outside the byway, but.
Well, I mean, they got to go along the byway to take a detour, right?
And we talk about the seamless experience. So, going there, it also, in trying to work with our communities, that also promotes the byway. So
we mentioned this, that we live in such a historical area.
Right.
And, we sometimes think, we have to go out west to see the history, or we have to go to Boston to see the history. But we have so much history right here in our area, in the Tri-Cities, and then all the way along the Mohawk Valley, the Hudson Valley. I mean, it's just incredible.
Yeah.
Forget the Hudson, because that is not the Erie Canal.
But it's part of our system. But
right.
And we have that national park branding, and you
Yeah.
see our signs as you travel the thruway. In many of our communities, this is entering the Erie Canalway National Heritage Corridor, and that gives that standard. It sets it higher than really any other area and region. But I do have to say, when I've worked in international markets, people in the international audience are just awed of what we have. And but I think a lot of our communities really appreciate what we have.
Well, and I think what you're doing is to elevate the small communities that are along the path, along the Erie Canal. And I do want to recommend that maybe if you're thinking of a summer trip, maybe this might be a good trip, is to check out the entire length of the, and you'll end up in Buffalo, right?
Yes.
Or Rochester,
or the
Utica.
Finger Lakes, or up in Lake Champlain.
And all through the summer, there are a series of events that are happening along the canal.
And do you have a website? Can they go to your website to find out?
And
we put them both up there, I think.
There is a calendar on the Mohawk Towpath Byway's website. The first event's coming up April 26th, the Apple Blossom Festival at Riverview Orchards.
I know. I think we mentioned that on our newsletter, so we'll make sure that people find out about that.
And from there's a whole series of events all across the Erie Canal corridor.
I want to thank you both for being here. This is really exciting, and I hope that you'll come on again and talk more about the Erie Canal, because I think it's such a treasure in our area.